Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a huge topic, machine learning. Now, I know it can sound super complicated, but it really boils down to three simple pillars that explain pretty much how it all works. So, let's get right into it. So, let's just start with the biggest question right off the bat, shall we? Can a computer, a machine, actually learn something new? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. But, the answer is a lot closer to home than you might think. The answer is a big, resounding yes. And honestly, the way they learn isn't all that different from how we learned everything as kids. You think about it. We learn to talk, to walk, to know what a dog is, all by trying, sometimes failing, and just practicing over and over. Well, computers can do that too. Because at its very core, machine learning is just that, teaching a computer how to learn from experience. We feed it tons of data, show it a bunch of examples, let it practice, and it starts to figure things out. It's not magic, it's just a really powerful new way of teaching a machine. Okay, so let's jump into the first of our three pillars, supervised learning. And the key word here is right in the name, supervised. I want you to think of this as a computer that has a teacher guiding it every step of the way. Just imagine you're a little kid learning to draw. A teacher shows you a picture of a round, red fruit and says, "This is an apple," right? You learn because someone is there to give you the correct labels for things. That's the exact same advantage a computer gets with supervised learning. So here's how it works in the real world. A computer is shown, say, thousands of photos that are already labeled, this one's a cat, that one's a dog, and so on. Its whole job is to figure out the patterns that connect the picture to the label. And after it's seen enough of them, it gets good enough to look at a brand new photo it's never seen before and predict, hey, that's a cat. And this isn't some far-off theory. You and I use this literally every single day. You know when your email automatically sorts out spam? That's supervised learning. A real estate site that predicts a house's price based on its square footage and location? Yep, that's it too. Even when your phone automatically recognizes your friends' faces and photos, that's all powered by this method. It's the engine behind so much of the tech we just take for granted now. So, if you're going to remember one thing about supervised learning, remember this. It's like learning with a cheat sheet. All the answers are provided right there in the data. Now, let's move on to our second pillar, unsupervised learning. And just like the name says, this time, there's no teacher. No one is there to provide any answers. The machine is totally on its own. To get this, just imagine someone dumps a giant mixed-up box of candies in front of you. Without any instructions at all, what's the first thing you'd do? You'd probably start sorting them, right? Putting all the red ones together, all the blue ones, maybe the round ones in another pile. You're finding patterns all by yourself. And that is exactly what a computer does with unsupervised learning. It gets a huge amount of data with absolutely no labels. Its job is to look through everything and start creating its own groups. We call them clusters based on hidden similarities it finds. It's kind of like a data detective. And again, this is happening all around us. When a news website groups articles about the same event together, that's it. Or when your streaming service recommends a movie because other people who like what you like also liked it, that's unsupervised learning in action. Its real superpower is making sense of huge, messy piles of information and finding connections that a person might never, ever spot. So the key takeaway for unsupervised learning, it's all about discovery. You give the machine a puzzle with no answer key, and it has to find all the hidden patterns completely on its own. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, reinforcement learning. Now, this one isn't about labeled data or finding patterns. This is all about learning from good old-fashioned trial and error. Honestly, the best way to get this is to think about training a puppy. When the puppy does something you want, like sitting when you say sit, you give it a treat. That's a positive reward. Over time, it learns which actions get it a reward and starts doing them more often. For a machine, that same feedback loop might happen in a video game. It tries a move. If it's a good move, it gets points. That's the treat, the reward. If it's a bad move, it loses points. So with every single action, it learns and tweaks its strategy, all in the pursuit of getting the highest possible score. And the things this can do are, well, they're pretty futuristic. This is how an AI can become a grandmaster at chess. It's how a robot can learn to walk on two legs without someone programming every single tiny muscle movement. It's even a huge part of how self-driving cars learn to deal with tricky traffic situations. It's all about mastering complex skills in a world that's constantly changing. So, for reinforcement learning, just remember this. It's learning by doing. It's a constant cycle of trial and error, all guided by a system of rewards and punishments. All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's take a quick second to recap and put all three of these pillars side by side. I think that'll make everything click into place. Let's put it all together. First, you've got supervised learning. That's our student with a teacher, learning from labeled data to make predictions. Then you've got unsupervised learning. That's our sorting the candy method, finding hidden patterns without any labels. And finally, reinforcement learning, which is like training a pet. It learns by trial and error to get the most rewards. Three totally different approaches, each with its own unique superpower. So there you have it, the three fundamental pillars of machine learning, which leaves us with one final thought for you. Think about the apps you use every single day. Your music streaming service, your social media feed, maybe your favorite game. Now that you know the basics, which one of these three types of learning do you think is quietly working behind the scenes? Thanks for diving in with me on this one.